Hey y'all, gravity any day above ground living. My bad. I fell asleep and it was a good day out here in Atlanta. It's nice and sunny, and I said let me get some rest. And yeah, I had to get a little bit extra energy because to go through what we about to hear. If you're in California, you understand. If you've been following politics with us, you know. Yes, I understand. In the title, in the thumbnail, I spelled his name wrong. I get it. I'll fix it while this is going on. But yes, Ron DeSantis, aka DeSatan, and Gavin Newsom had a debate last, I want to say Thursday. Might have been last Thursday. And a lot of people were saying, why is DeSantis doing this while he's on the trail? He said he's willing to talk to anybody since Trump don't want to come outside. He'd let Gavin Newsom do it. All right. Gavin Newsom had nothing to lose and the only thing to gain in upping his profile with the national media and the constituents. Okay, cool. Whatever. Sure. Anyway, before we start, because we're going to look at it before we start, let's see who's in the building. Eli Carradine, hello. Wallow J, hello. Denise Scales, hello. Key Prince, good afternoon to you. All right, let's begin. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe. All this. Make sure you send it out to your people via text message so you get here quicker. And we're going to have fun.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
Yes, sir. So we got it loaded up. We got it proofed. And you know what I'm going to say when they go over time? Ding, ding, dinner's ready. But here we go. Fair use.
Welcome to Hannity, and tonight we are broadcasting live just north of Atlanta, Georgia, in Alpharetta, Georgia, where in just a moment we're going to hear.
That's correct. They were down here in Georgia. Yep. They're up there in the rich area of Alpharetta. Because, God forbid, they go do it in Buckhead, because you know what they say, Buckhead got all the crime. That's what them Asians said. Yeah, how about that? Yeah, so they did where they were comfortable.
From the Republican governor of Florida, the Democratic governor of the great state of California, for what is the first ever red state, blue state debate right here on the Fox News channel. Now, we will do our best to give equal time to each governor. We will limit answers to 60 seconds per question. We'll be a little flexible as needed. Let the debate breathe as needed, along with a 30-second time for rebuttal. Let me start by introducing both Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, California Governor Gavin Newsom. Governors, thank you both for being here. Really appreciate it.
Great to be with you.
I know both of you personally. I've known you both for a long time. I know you're very busy. I also know this.
This is way over the edge. Like we it's not even over the edge. We died already.
This is beyond the event horizon. Like we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah, we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah.
White supremacy takes both sides of the argument.
Deep and abiding love for our country, as I do. But where we are in the country, we've never kind of been this divided in a long time. There are clear and deep and profound differences in your approach to governance. And before we begin, one quick note to all of you that are watching at home. Okay, I'm now the longest running primetime cable host in the history of cable news. I'm now, and I feel blessed, in my 28th year at Fox. It's kind of widely known that I am a conservative.
It's a round. It's a whack for you round and a whack for your round.
Our questions tonight will be coming from well-sourced, fact-centered perspectives. And you will see and hear most of tonight's questions will deal with the most fundamental issues, the ones that impact the lives of the people that make this country great. The people in Florida, the people in California, and in many ways, every state in the country. We'll discuss taxes, the economy, immigration, crime, guns, homelessness, education, parental rights, abortion, gas prices.
So broad initiatives and broad issues. Okay.
no medicine, there'd be no mayonnaise. No medicine, there'd be no mayonnaise. No medicine, there'd be no mayonnaise. No medicine, there'd be no mayonnaise.
In other words, the things that impact you every single day. In the end, you will get to decide which governing philosophy you believe is better. The governors will explain their governing philosophy. And again, fact-based questions. So let's get started. Everybody ready? All right. As we speak, there is a phenomenon. It is playing out across the entire country. Americans, they are leaving blue states in droves in favor of red states. You see numbers on the screen right now from the years 2021 and 2022. These particular numbers are stark in the state that you lead. In the case of you, Governor Newsom, according to the U.S. Census, this is where the numbers come from. In 2021, 2022, California's lost 750,000 residents to other states. Governor DeSantis, during that same 2-year period, you gained 454,000 residents from other states. So Governor DeSantis, we had a coin toss. I was not part of it. I missed it. But apparently, Governor Newsom, you won the coin toss.
Damn, he can talk.
You chose to let Governor DeSantis have the first question. You will get the last word.
Dinner's ready.
So I begin with you. For Governor Newsom, I will ask, what your response is on this as well. What do you? It's a simple question. How do you?
Dinner's ready. Shut up.
Governor, what's going on?
When I was in the Navy, I got orders to go to Naval Amphibious Base Coronado in Southern California. And I was a lifelong Floridian, but I went there and I was like, man, this is one of the most beautiful places on earth. And I think California has more natural advantages than any state in the country. You almost have to try to mess California up. And yeah, that's what Gavin Newsom has done since he's been governor. He's the first governor to ever lose population. They actually, at one point, ran out of U-Hauls in the state of California because so many people were leaving. Of course, he's imposed restrictions on his own people while exempting himself from those restrictions and going to the French Laundry while his people were suffering. He led the country in school closures, locking kids out of school while he had his own kids in private school in person. Now, he's very good at spinning these tales. He's good at being slick and slippery. He'll tell a blizzard of lies to be able to try to mask the failures. But the reality is they have failed because of his leftist ideology. And the choice for America is this. What Biden and Harris and Newsom want to do is take the California model and do that nationally. In Florida, we showed that conservative principles work. This country must choose freedom over failure.
So what y'all think of what old DeSantis just said? He just let that, fly off the tongue. RY, hello. MD Williams, hello. You seem new, but welcome. RY said both of them are trash. Well, let's just focus on DeSantis for a minute. So he said all that. He said basically, as California is beautiful, Newsom has made it ugly. That's basically what he's saying through his policies and him following behind Jim Crow, Joe, and Command Me. I know. I said his name. I know. DeSantis has the fuck it.
Insult to my existence.
Amir Stanfield, hello. That's right, he did above ground. You said I live in California to wear the Wayne line. All right. So he's being truthful. Now, while he was talking about all that, y'all saw Newsom's face, right? He finna hit him with this.
Excuse me, you live here? Yes, sir. You live here?
Governor Newsom, your reaction.
Well, it's good to be with you, Sean. It's nice also to see you in a tie as well tonight. Good to be with you, Ron. And
I dressed up for the occasion, Governor.
No.
A liberal and conservative walk onto a debate stage.
I'm impressed and I'm grateful. Look, it's an important occasion. This is an important conversation. And I think it's important to folks watching. They're probably wondering, what are we actually doing here? And I want to answer that very directly. I'll tell you why I'm here. I'm here to tell the truth about the Biden-Harris record and also compare and contrast Ron DeSantis' record and the Republican Party's record as a point of contrast that's as different as daylight and darkness. You want to bring us back to a pre-1960s world, America in reverse. You want to roll back hard-earned national rights on voting rights, on civil rights, on LGBTQ rights, on women's rights, not just access to abortion, but also access to contraception. You want to weaponize grievance. You are focusing on false separateness. You in particular, Ron, are on a banning binge, a cultural purge, intimidating and humiliating people you disagree with. You and President Trump are really trying to light democracy on fire. So, Sean, there are profound differences tonight, and I look forward to engaging them. But there's one thing in closing that we have in common is neither of us will be the nominee for our party in 2024.
Great opening statement, but it did not.
Ooh, that was he said, "Yo, sit down."
Why was it so?
Okay, Newsom, I see you. Wait a minute. Okay.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
Hey, DeSantis, he hit you with that one time. Do you have a rebuttal for that? Now that'll tell us everything we need to know. Do you have a rebuttal?
Question.
It didn't address the issue. Can you explain this migration out of California and going to red state?
You mean,
blue state?
well, hold on. You mean the last 2 years, more Floridians going to California than Californians going to Florida?
No, I put up on. I put up on the
by the way,
screen.
that's going to be fun to fact check. So we'll just start right there. California has no peers. California dominates. Size of 21 state populations combined. So
Bro, we do have very small states. We understand. You want to say 21 state population. Okay, that's great. You're like the second biggest state in the country next to Texas in terms of square mileage. Okay, that's wonderful. Ain't nobody finna go over there pay $6, $7, $8 gas, bruh. The selling point of California is the fact that it's on the West Coast. You have temperate weather, and y'all boast a nice landscape. And then you get to the meat and gritty of it, and Hollywood. And you get to the meat and potatoes of it. You're risking your life. You go live your life, and then one day everything just starts to get to shaking. Yeah. And y'all letting a lot of policies lapse in regards to, law and order, and things just get out of control. San Francisco, Oakland, LA. But all right. Go ahead. Keep talking.
fifth largest economy in the world. We dominate. Number one manufacturing state. We dominate in two-way trade and research and development, access to innovation, more scientists, more researchers, more engineers, more Nobel laureates in the state of California than any.
That you imported. Oops. Wasn't supposed to say that. You imported them. Oops. He's starting to lose it.
And a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
Any other state in the nation, the finest system of higher education. It's the birthplace of life science and biotech and nanotechnology. We dominate in green tech. We dominate in high tech. We dominate in art.
And right now, somewhere in somebody's garage in California, probably 2 to 3 blocks away from a fault line, some idiot is creating Skynet. And y'all are going to take credit for it. And then Skynet going to take over California. And you're going to be like, we need help. Call Snake Plissken.
Artificial intelligence. So with respect, I think it's an interesting campaign strategy for Ron DeSantis to be bashing a state of 40 million Americans when California simply has no peers.
Sir, he can bash it all he wants. Know why? Because no Republican, maybe outside of Trump, has a shot of getting California, and it's 54 votes in the general election.
Well, that's a pretty slick way of not answering your question. He went on a binge of putting out a lot of left-wing platitudes. Here's what I would say. I talked to a lot of people that have moved from California to Florida, and we never used to get people from California to Florida or really anywhere in these, because why would you leave California? It's got the best weather, great natural fortunes. Excuse me, sir. So, but one of the things that I did, I had, I was talking to a gentleman, a couple.
Guys, I'm going to let this. I'm going to let the debate.
You mean Southern Cal where it never rained at?
They breathe, but it's his turn. Let's take turns.
So I was talking to a fella who had made the move from California to Florida, and he was telling me that Florida is much better governed, safer, better budget, lower taxes, all this stuff. And he's really happy with the quality of life. And then he paused and he said, by the way, I'm Gavin Newsom's father-in-law. So we do count Gavin's in-laws as some of the people that have fled California and come to the state of Florida. And why are we getting people to come? We have a 50-year low in the crime rate. You don't see in the last 10 years, we've had a 45% decline in homelessness. California's had a 45% increase in homelessness. We back the blue. I was walking the streets of San Francisco a couple months ago.
Oh my God.
And I had some of the cops in San Francisco do.
He said it. Back the blue. He said it. Back the blue. He said it. This is all the back to blue idiots be like this.
Don't be a victim if woulda, coulda was with him. If woulda, coulda was with him, he woulda, coulda continued living.
That's all the back to blue idiots. Yeah, how'd that work? Brother Torian Rain, hello. You said, why is he not debating Newsom? He not president? Because he said since Trump don't want to come outside on him, he'll debate anybody. So Gavin Newsom was the correct choice. Okay, sure.
Do a beeline to come over to me, and I didn't know what they were going to say. And they're like, we want to thank you for standing for law enforcement because we don't get that support in the state of California. So people understand quality of life matters. They understand that Florida's doing it right. And I can tell you the numbers speak for themselves. We have way more people moving to the state than leaving. Gavin can't say the opposite. More people are leaving California than are moving into California.
Let me bring up coming to California the other way around the last 2 years. Let's talk about crime.
Governor, hold on. Governor, wait a minute.
I think
hold on a second.
You said a lot of things that were factually untrue, including that 50-year crime low, which his own law enforcement team said you should not be using.
You have yet to address the issue, but I asked you twice. You don't want to answer it. But the issue of why the migration out of red states, out of blue states.
We just established more Floridians coming to California in the last 2 years than the
overall. You had a net loss of 7.
It's a fact.
Asserted it.
It's a fact.
No, it's not a fact.
It is a fact.
Moving on. Let's go.
Wait, hey, Hannity, wait a minute, Hannity. Hey, you let your two friends go at it. You said you known them for years. Let them go at it. Let them go at it. Come on.
Great. Okay. It is what it is. These are the facts. California's highest rate for top earners, 13%. Married couple, for example, in California, earning a median income of $84,000.
Did he just do this? Did he really just do this? Hannity, you're comparing a state that has income tax to a state that does not have a state income tax. Are we serious? Did you really just do this? Why do you think old Jewish couples go to Florida when they retire? Because they're going to be on a fixed income. They don't want to give away more of their money. Why do you think the migration from California went to Texas, Tennessee, and Florida? Because they don't have state income tax. Same thing why a lot of Californians go to Vegas and live. No sales tax. This is dumb. This was a waste of an argument, but you got it.
These are the facts. California's highest rate for top earners, 13%. Married couple, for example, in California, earning a median income of $84,000, they have a 6% income
Absolutely
tax in the
don't.
state of California. Florida's income tax rate is 0% across all salaries, but it goes beyond income taxes. Property taxes are lower in California, but everything else is higher. Let's take a look at the numbers. These are the facts. The average property tax in California, 0.75%, Florida, 0.91%. Sales tax, California, 7.25%, Florida, 6%. Gas tax rate, California, 77 cents a gallon. That is a low estimate. It's up to $1 when you include mandatory fees. And in Florida, it's 35 cents. Corporate income tax, California, 8.84%, Florida, 5.5%. Governor Newsom, this is your question. Let me ask you. Obviously, you support a different philosophy, which is higher taxes.
Yes. Oh, well, no, hold on.
No, this is a tax question, Governor.
This is a very different approach, and I agree with you completely. He has one of the most regressive tax rates in the United States of America. It's number 3 most regressive state in America. And what that means is simply this. Who does he tax? He taxes low-income workers more than we tax millionaires and billionaires in the state of California. The question is a simple one. Who, Ron, are you for? It's a factual lie that the state of California has the highest tax rate, but for whom? And it's a foundational and fundamental difference. You look at states like Texas, overwhelming majority of Texans pay more taxes than the state of California. So again, it's who you're for. And I think those values matter. And I appreciate you bringing up the issue of taxes.
How many people leave Florida to go to California because they pay less taxes?
Oh, Jesus
Are people going
Christ.
from Florida to New York because they pay less taxes? Of course not. They come to Florida because they pay lower taxes. We don't even have an income tax. And yet California has a higher sales tax than we do. And that's one of the things that we do. But here's the thing. And I'll give Gavin credit. He did at least admit in his first answer. He's joined at the hip with Biden and Harris. He thinks Biden and Harris have done a great job. He thinks the economy is working because of their policies for Americans, and they are not. And so what California represents is the Biden-Harris agenda on steroids. They would love nothing more than to get 4 more years to be able to take the California model nationally. That would be disastrous for working people.
Well, let's talk about working people. They pay more in your state than the state of California charges for billionaires and millionaires. And it's just a value proposition. It's a fact. Again, you can't make.
You have $6 or $7 a gallon gas. How do they afford that? These are folks that are blue collar people. You're going to force everybody to buy an electric vehicle. How are they going to be able to afford electric vehicles if you're working class people? And I think the thing about California, they have one of the highest inequality rates because, yeah, they've got Silicon Valley billionaires. They've got a lot of very wealthy people. They've got a lot of people that are on government assistance, but they've hollowed out their middle class. That's who's been leaving California. They've been leaving in other places. They go to Arizona. They go to Nevada. They go to all these places.
Let me just.
I do have a follow-up question.
Ron, I'm happy that you continue to talk. Let's talk a little bit about Bidenomics because I'm happy to take that on right now.
Let's find out if oldest Satan was telling the truth on that. Let's see. Let's see if he was telling the truth.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
Now, this is income inequality by state. Now, it came out this year, but this is for 2021. They don't have any update. Don't think they updated it yet, but this is 2021. So remember, these two were still in power. There's only a one where California is 49, Florida is 49. Now, this was 2021. Sounds like they're roughly the same. Average income of bottom 99%. So California is 55,152. Florida is 39,094. Average income top 1%, 1.69 million. Florida is 1.54 million. Sounds like it's right about the same. But of course, DeSantis is going to sit there and lie about it. But all right. Sure. Continue.
As well. And I think it's a
You're
fair
a big
point.
supporter of it. I appreciate you acknowledging
14 million jobs, 10 times more than the last 3 Republican presidents combined.
Because he had
815,000 manufacturing
the jobs were because of the COVID lockdowns. Are you kidding me?
3.9% unemployment. As he continues to talk over me, I'll talk to the American people. 3.9% unemployment, the lowest black unemployment in American history, the lowest unemployment for Hispanics in American history, the lowest unemployment for women in 70 years, the lowest black poverty rates in history. That's this administration's agenda. And by the way, as you smile and smirk over there, you should know this, the American people. Here's a guy who celebrated Bidenomics just this week, celebrating $28 million that came into your state because of the CHIPS and Science Act, one of the most significant economic plans since FDR. I'm proud of the work Biden and Harris have done.
Update.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
He found an updated graph, y'all. I'm fixing to show y'all this. Where is it? I lost the page. Where is it? Oh, Lord. Fuck. Which page? I got too many tabs open. I'm sorry. I thought I had it up. Where is it? Wasn't this one? No. Where is it? Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry. I got way too many tabs. I don't know what I just did with it. Shit. I lost it. Oh, here it is. Okay. So, yeah, they're the same again. California's 0.5, Florida's 0.49. Income inequality. And again, California has a 21 state population. Yeah. But keep talking to Satan. Keep telling us about California.
Would you like to respond? And I do have a follow-up. The 6% rate on people, families, a couple in California, they pay 6% income tax on $84,000 a year.
Low-wage workers in the state of Florida pay more than women in the state of California. But here's, let me ask this question. Let me cover first. Ron, if I may answer the question. California has lower taxes, lower than 32 states for working families in the middle class, significantly lower taxes than places like Texas.
You support a 6% income tax for people, a couple
I'm against progressive taxes that advantage billionaires and millionaires over working families and the working poor. People in his state pay more taxes on the low end than we tax people on the high end.
How does paying $7 a gallon gas help working people? That doesn't help working people at all. How does paying an 8% sales tax help working people? That doesn't help working people at all. They have the highest taxes in the nation. People flee to be able to save money to get out of California. And you have working class people that move to these other states. Their dollars go much further. But here's the thing. They want to take this Bidenomics and they want to double down on this for the next 4 years. How many people are able to afford groceries? They're all. They have the highest taxes in the nation. People.
Highest taxes in the nation. He said this. Yet New York has the highest taxes in the nation. Highest income taxes. That's quite interesting. California is right here. New York is right here. 13 to 9 is a lot. Now, Florida gets away with it because they have no state income tax. Continue lying.
People flee to be able to save money to get out of California. And you have working class people that move to these other states. Their dollars go much further. But here's the thing. They want to take this Bidenomics and they want to double down on this for the next 4 years. How many people are able to afford groceries now compared to what you were doing 3 or 4 years ago? I talked to people, I talked to a woman who had a cart full of groceries going in and they're ringing it up.
Like something didn't
and it got
happen
to be so expensive, she has to take a lot of the stuff out. That didn't used to be the case. People used to be able to work hard and get ahead. That is not true under Joe Biden. And you know what, Sean, one more final thing. California's unemployment rate is 60% higher than Florida's unemployment rate. Our unemployment rate is 2.8%.
That's 4.8%. My next question,
Why?
Governor.
Because it's a command and control economy. They have a political agenda that they're pursuing.
Let me ask that question. On with the question of jobs. I think it's important. You know what? That affects that affects everybody.
Biden administration the last 3 years. It's been a master
Joe Biden paying you tonight
3.9%.
I thought this was state versus state.
It's about the United States of America. I thought this guy was running for president of the United States. If
you
you're
are
running for
you just won't
you're
admit
running for a third.
You just won't admit it. You will not admit it.
Why
don't you admit that you're running?
All right, we can't talk. We can't talk. I'm going to move on to the next question. The unemployment rate in Florida right now is just 2.8%, as you stated.
That's true.
And California ranks second worst in the country at 4.8%. Hold on. This question goes
wrong. Hannity, wrong. Hannity, wrong. Damn, they can't even read charts, family. And they're supposed to be the bastions of intelligence. They can't even read charts. California is here. Look, unless y'all not gonna say, okay, fine. You want to say you said state. Okay, fine. Fine. We're gonna get technical. Fine. I don't know why they have DC on this list, but fine. You wanna this might be an omen. They're still trying to make DC a state. I get it. But okay, fine. You want to get technical. We'll take DC out, then Hannity is right. But if you add DC, they're the third worst. Maryland's number one. So Torian, give you and your people a pat on the back. Even though Westmore's still a piece of shit. Continue.
To Governor DeSantis, and then you'll have a chance to respond. Governor DeSantis.
Well, right. I mean, they tax too much. They regulate too much. They have a political agenda. It's not a good climate for business. They've lost a lot of companies. A lot of companies have moved to Texas. We have had some to Florida, but they've lost a lot of companies to Texas because they're not doing a good job looking out for folks and not creating a good business environment. And, when I have people that come to Florida, they tell me, you guys actually want us to succeed in Florida. And they feel like when they're in California, they don't want business to succeed.
Is that what Disney's saying, the Tampa Bay Rays?
Well, actually, yeah. I think that's an interesting point with Disney because I had Disney open during COVID. And we made them a fortune and we saved a lot of jobs. You had Disney closed inexplicably for over a year. You were not following science. You were a lockdown governor. You did a lot of damage to your people. You had more kids locked out of school for a longer period of time in California than anywhere else in the country. It was the working class kids. It was the middle income kids. His kids were in private school. They were in class in person. He locked people out because of the teachers union. He is owned by the teachers union. You will never cross the teachers union.
This is just a lot of high.
Lock, stock, and barrel.
Let's talk about COVID. Let's talk about your record on COVID.
I don't think this is false. You signed it, sir. Well, let's see when DeSantis ordered his. So if we're going by the date of this was April 1st. Gavin Newsom did his on the 19th of March. Okay. Looks like the Saint might have got him on that one.
He is owned by the teachers union. You will never cross the teachers union.
This is just a lot of high.
You had more kids locked out of school. Tell me, you guys actually want us to succeed in Florida. And they feel like when they're in California, they don't want business to succeed.
Is that what Disney's saying, the Tampa Bay Rays?
Well, actually, yeah. I think that's an interesting point with Disney because I had Disney open during COVID and we made them a fortune and we saved a lot of jobs. You had Disney closed inexplicably for over a year. You were not following science. You were a lockdown governor. You did a lot of damage to your people. You had more kids locked out of school for a longer period of time in California than anywhere else in the country. It was the working class kids. It was the middle income kids. His kids were in private school. They were in class in person. He locked people out because of the teachers union. He is owned by the teachers union. You will never cross the teachers union.
This is just a lot of high.
Lock, stock, and barrel.
Let's talk about COVID. Let's talk about your record on COVID. You passed an emergency declaration before the state of California did. You closed down your beaches, your bars, your restaurants.
False.
It's a fact. You had quarantines.
You
had quarantines.
Beaches weren't closed. You lying motherfucker.
Florida. By the way,
bro, how does he lie like that? Right. Shout out to Jason Black. We saw the videos. People were still walking on the beach in April after you put out your order. We saw it. They were getting in clashes with the cops. But okay, you're right. It didn't happen. Revisionist history. Didn't happen.
Right.
Why is his hand so damn red?
You had quarantines. You had
quarantines.
Up
with his hands
all over the state of Florida. By the way, I didn't say that. Donald Trump laid you out on this. Dead to right.
Why is his hand so red?
You did that.
true.
You followed science. You followed Fauci. Ron Santos.
That's not
He followed science. He
true.
followed Fauci. You
Then
were
why did
promoting.
everyone leave
Hold on. You
California
were
to come to
promoting
Florida? Because we
vaccines.
were open.
You were promoting
We were
vaccines. You
open.
even wore a
Closed.
mask in
We
September.
were open.
Sean,
You were closed.
Because you said it was a conservative haven. That's why.
If it's okay with you, we'll do this.
Why were you
Why don't
closed
we do
for
this
so
in a way
long?
where we both can have
Why were you closed
opportunity?
for so long?
You wore
You
a
were
mask
closed.
with Donald
Guys,
Trump
closed.
I'm trying
outside
to let it
in
breathe.
September
Gavin,
2020. He did all of
Governor
that
Newsom.
until he decided to fall prey to the fringe of his party. And as a consequence of that, Ron, tens of thousands of people lost their lives.
Not true.
The equivalent, if I had your policies, the equivalent of 10 9/11s, tens of thousands of people lost their lives. And for what?
Those are more.
Whoa. Why is it every time they bring up coffee venereal disease, they go straight to 9/11? Is this like the new thing now to bring up 9/11 when you're trying to highlight tragedy and how bad it is? Damn. I don't have no respect for the dead, huh? All right, go ahead.
Lies. In fact, the Lancet just did a study. Florida had a lower standardized COVID death rate than California did. That's a Lancet study. One more thing. The other thing we had, the other thing California had, California had higher excess mortality than
down.
Let me talk about excess mortality real quick.
Honestly,
Because
hold on.
This is way over the edge. Like it's not even over the edge. We died already.
This is
I
beyond.
do want this to breathe. I want this debate to breathe. I want it to organically develop. To do that, I need both your cooperation. I don't want to be a hall monitor. It's not my style. All right. You mentioned COVID. Let me go to
I'm
COVID.
here to tell you right
I
now.
plan to bring this up later.
We
but
don't
you
care.
both
Let me
took
tell
very
you-
different
let me tell you,
approaches
we
when it
don't
comes to
care.
COVID. Governor Newsom, you issued the nation's first stay-at-home order on March 19th of 2020. Governor DeSantis, you took a lot of heat for reopening schools. You opened schools in Florida in August of 2020. All right, so here's the data, which I think is important. This is where the facts come in. Your state's death rates were almost identical.
It's factually untrue.
Hold on.
Oh. Now DeSantis is going to argue that you got it from the CDC, so that's not true. Here we go.
Okay. And by the way, both your states with such different approaches, which is pretty fascinating, were both lower, significantly lower than the national average. These numbers come straight from the CDC. So, Governor Newsom, how do you explain that?
Facts. Per capita death rates in the state of Florida were 29%, 29% per capita.
Per capita. Here we go. This is how you use per capita. You raging supremacists online. This is when you use per capita.
Higher. 29%.
That's not what the stats say right there.
People, tens of thousands of people
Don't lie
unnecessarily
about
died.
it. He put the graphic up there. Don't lie about it.
Unnecessarily
you don't need to lie about it
because your policy.
Just understand. You don't need to lie about it. No, it's not.
You were a lockdown governor. You locked down.
One at a time. Gavin Newsom, finish
your
your thought.
bars and restaurants. That's just a fact. He's running away from his record. He's running away from the fact. Tens of thousands of people died unnecessarily
the CDC
because he
number.
caved to it's 29% higher death rate in the state of Florida versus the state of California.
Quick response, Governor.
You showed the stats. The stats are very.
They're not talking about the death rate. They're not talking about the actual rate. They're talking about how many people died. You can't really quantify how many the rate of somebody dying unless y'all plan to get every death certificate and line up the times.
Clear. One at a time. On a per capita age-adjusted basis, California and Florida basically the same. Now, why is that important? Because Gavin Newsom did huge damage to people in California. He ruined livelihoods. We reopened the state very quickly. We saved thousands of jobs. We saved hundreds of thousands of jobs, thousands of businesses. We had our kids in school. He had the kids locked out of school because of the teachers union. That is having a generational impact. California has one of the lowest literacy rates in the country. In the most recent NAEP exam, Florida came in number 3 for 4th grade reading. California was far, far behind. So you
Are they reading everything or are you being selective? Because we know how you are with Black history. I'm just saying.
should apologize for not getting your kids in school. Why didn't you get the kids in school in the summer of 2020 like we did? You vowed to the teachers.
Doesn't California go back in September? Yeah. Okay.
Only person
didn't do the job you should have done.
The only person,
the only person one at a time, quick answer,
is Ron DeSantis for the tens of thousands of lives that died unnecessarily because he played to the fringe of his party.
We got to take a break. And I'll finish your thought.
No, and when it comes to the issue of schools, you better be
He
careful.
said
You
no.
have more learning loss during COVID than the national average in the state of California.
He said no.
More learning loss. Your economy contracted more in 2020.
I was wrong.
Expanded slower than California in 2020.
I was wrong. They started in August, in mid-August. I was wrong. It depends on the municipality, though. LA started August 14th, and I guess the others around it started a little later. I was wrong. Okay. I always thought they did September. Okay. They really like to cut. They really want to make sure they get that full surfing season in. All right. Say less.
21. More to come on this topic.
More to come on this debate. I know it's starting off
next segment, I guess.
It's been rather dull at the start, but anyway, we got a lot to get to. Coming up, many important topics that we're going to be talking about, including one issue where you might find some agreement, actually, as we continue the blue state, red state debate. We are live. We are in Alpharetta, Georgia. Thank you for being with us. I don't know how many people actually are in the state. Red state debate. We are live.
All right, so who won the first part? Who do you think won the first part? I know y'all really don't care, but kind of want to get a gauge on this. Who won the first part? Maybe I'm gonna put a poll up real fast. Wallow J said neither. Shit. He said neither. It's only part one. We didn't even get to it yet. I'll put it in the. All right, the poll is up, so y'all can put up your answers as it goes. All right, back to this. Survivor.
And welcome back to Hannity as we continue our blue state, red state debate with Governor Gavin Newsom and Governor Ron DeSantis. Gentlemen, let's move on to the issue of borders. Joe Biden's message to illegal immigrants during his campaign was, let them come. I'd have the tape, but I said I wouldn't play the tape. And since taking office, Biden said he's gotten control of the border. Vice President Kamala Harris, Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas, Biden's press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre have all said the border is either secure or the border is closed. Yet the Border Patrol says, well, guess what? They have been a record 6.5 million encounters with illegal immigrants and so-called asylum seekers at the border since President Biden took office. The administration says, well, they don't know how many people actually are in the country illegally. Gentlemen, the American people, I ask you, I believe it's your turn, Governor Newsom, have the American people on the issue of borders, you're defending the Biden administration, they're saying the border's secure, they're saying the border's closed, those are the numbers from our own Border Patrol. Are the American people being lied to?
I don't think they're being lied to. The Biden administration put out a comprehensive plan day one when he got sworn into office 3 years ago, and the Republican Party didn't touch it. They haven't moved on it. They play politics with us. And I'll be honest with you, I think there's probably one person I wouldn't listen to on this topic more than the guy that I'm standing next to, Ron DeSantis. He lacks any credibility on the issue of immigration. When he was in Congress, he supported amnesty. When he's in Congress, you supported John Boehner's bill. It's a fact. When you were in Congress, you supported Obama's. You supported Obama's efforts to advance comprehensive reform. The last guy you want to talk to on the issue of immigration, your immigration policy can best be described as a governor from the state of Florida going into another state, the state of Texas, lying to migrants, promising them jobs and housing, sending them to an island, Martha's Vineyard, and then sending them to a parking lot in Sacramento, California. I met with those migrants that you lied to under false pretense. That kind of gamesmanship, using human beings as pawns, I think is disqualifying. So again, a guy who stands here, who's been out on the Republican debate stage saying, well, he's going to be tough, he's going to shoot people with backpacks, and that he has a strategy to potentially even invade our second largest trading partner, Mexico, that has a record of supporting amnesty and supporting reforms under the Obama administration, is the last guy to be standing on stage talking about the issue of immigration reform tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's deja vu all over again with that flurry of lies. This is a guy that says the Biden administration is not lying to the public about the border. They go to the White House briefing room every day. They say the border's secure. They are lying to you. We know that that's not true. Gavin Newsom is lying to you when he says somehow I supported these things, which I didn't do. He's also lying to you about what it's going to take to solve this problem. California is a sanctuary state. They thumb their nose at federal immigration law, and this has real consequences. There was an illegal alien, Herbert Nixon Flores, who was in LA, in custody. He was a repeat criminal. ICE wanted to take him into custody because then they would be able to deport him. LA refuses to work with ICE, and so they wouldn't turn him over. They end up releasing him on the street. He ends up murdering the mother of a 3-year-old little girl. Those policies are deadly. They do not work. And I'll tell you this, The Martha's Vineyard transport, Martha's Vineyard said it was a sanctuary jurisdiction. Kind of reminds me about Gavin Newsom when he restricted Californians, then he went to the French Laundry. These liberal elites, they like to impose burdens on you. They don't want to have to face the consequences of their actions. So we've got a lot of elites who want open borders, who lecture everybody else about it. And the minute they have to deal with any of the consequences, oh man, all hell breaks loose.
How about the consequences? Hold on, we're moving on. We're moving to the next question. On the same topic. On the same topic. This is important. This is a very important question. While some migrants I know want to come to America for a better life for themselves and their family, find the American dream, I totally sympathize with them. Many good people fleeing very bad situations abroad. But others are abusing the asylum process. And in the process, in search of where they're coming from, we're now learning that many are coming from some of our top geopolitical foes, countries with little to no vetting, or people that are coming in, they're not being vetted. Look at these numbers. Between October 2021, October 2023, border agents encountered 6,386 nationals from Afghanistan, 3,153 from Egypt, 659 from Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, 538 from Syria, 12,605 from Russia, and a whopping 26,113 from China. Now, the next question goes to you, Governor Newsom. What are the odds that Biden's open borders have allowed terrorists and terror cells unvetted into this country? Is that a clear and present danger to every American?
The odds are 100%. Of course, our enemies are going to take advantage of this. He opened the border. He's not. He's violating his oath of office to take care that the laws are faithfully executed. He's knowingly having 8 million come in. And yes, there's criminal aliens. There are terrorists. There's a lot of fentanyl. That we've had tens of thousands of fentanyl deaths. I've met a lot of angel parents who have lost kids to fentanyl overdose. And the problem is, you'll have a college kid that may take some pill, not knowing that there's fentanyl in it. And then right there, that can be fatal. They're poisoning our people. And Joe Biden is sitting on his hands. He refuses to take care of the border. He refuses to hold the drug cartels accountable. This is the vision of Biden, Harris, Newsom. Open borders. Americans suffer and Americans continue to die because of fentanyl overdose. There will be, unfortunately, a terrorist attack at some point that we'll be able to trace back to our southern border.
By the way, do you see that risk, Governor Newsom?
Hold on.
Governor, do you see the risk?
Joe Biden put out not only a comprehensive plan, he consistently puts up plans. Hold on, but Sean,
is there a risk?
I'm going to answer your question. I support border security. I think the asylum system is broken. I believe that we need.
I understand that.
I'm the only guy here that's a border state governor. You're trolling folks and trying to find migrants to play political games, to try to get some news and attention so you can out-Trump Trump. And by the way, how's that going for you, Ron? You're down 41 points in your own home state. On the issue of immigration, Joe Biden put a $14 billion immigration package up in front of Congress, 2,300 border agents, as well as custom officials, 1,000 new law enforcement officers to deal with the fentanyl issue. And by the way, that's a major issue in your state, 41% higher overdose rates in the state of California. And here's what I haven't heard, not a peep from Ron DeSantis. They want to demagogue this issue. You want to play politics with issues. You don't want to solve this issue. Why don't you lead your party and support that $14 billion package?
Hold on. I have a follow-up. Governor Newsom, I appreciate your answer. You have mentioned comprehensive immigration reform many times. It's not happened under Joe Biden. I don't think it's going to happen next year.
Put a detailed plan, and Republicans in Congress refused to act on it.
Let me finish my
Congress to work with this administration.
My question was, with all of these millions and millions of people coming into this country unvetted, the question was and remains, is this a clear and present danger from the countries I put up on the screen? Is that a clear and present danger to America? And what do you do in the interim?
That's why the president of the United States put a $14 billion package in front of Congress they can act on today.
And what would that?
They haven't done anything
what would that
in 2 years.
do?
This Congress.
What do you
Literally
support?
not a single piece
of
legislation. I support the $14 billion package president's put forward. That includes 2,300 border agents and customs officials. By the way, also includes $850 million in new technology for border security. You hear nothing from Ron DeSantis. You hear nothing, Sean, respectfully. You hear nothing from the Republican Party. They play politics.
I'm almost out of time.
Put the plan up to
Dinner's ready.
Let me ask the question another way. Does it worry you that our top geopolitical foes, the #1 state sponsor of terror, Iran, China, Russia, Afghanistan, Syria, that they're at our southern border? You're a border state governor. Does that concern you at all?
Why else would I put the answer is yes. Why else would I put the National Guard? Why would I just increase it by 50% on the largest port in the Western Hemisphere in my state? I mean, this guy has no record. The fact that you supported amnesty, the fact you supported Obama's reforms, those are facts. They're just simple facts. The fact that your greatest contribution, Ron, to this debate is shooting people with backpacks.
I don't mind.
That's so inhumane.
I don't mind him lying to me. I don't mind Gavin lying to me, but I do mind him lying to you. He is sitting there saying that Joe Biden is willing to solve this problem? Is there anybody out there that actually believes this? Joe Biden created this problem. So if he's willing to lie to you about that, you know he's lying to you about all these other facts and figures, about all this other stuff. He's just throwing stuff out to see what sticks against the wall. This is a slick, slippery politician whose state is failing. People are leaving his state, and he's trying to run interference for his failure.
We got to take our second break. We're going to, when we come back, we have a lot more ground to cover. Quick break. We have a lot of ground to cover. More with Governor.
I'm sorry, family. The way they were talking, I tuned out to a lot of it. I don't know. I don't know what they were talking about. It was just. Added Joe Ocho, hello. You seem new, but welcome. You said this is so stupid, and neither one of them are getting a nominee. So doesn't matter. This is to elevate their profile. This is all they care about. V Malsby, hello. Been a while. Vincent Taylor, hello. You missed a notification. Gotta check. Make sure you're still subscribed. And Denise, thank you for the $10 super sticker. Thank you. So what's the point of this BS slinging debate? DeSantis said he got the smoke for everybody. And he said, I'll talk to this man since we're interconnected since COVID. Damn, I said the word. My bad. Coffee venereal disease. Since he thinks everybody that left California went right to Florida. All right. And Florida did not get better.
DeSantis and Newsom, the great blue-red state debate, as we continue from Alpharetta, Georgia. Again, thank you for being with us.
Evil.
All right, welcome back to the great blue state, red state debate with Governor Gavin Newsom, Governor Ron DeSantis. Again, thank you both for being here. We're going to take a little breathing room. I don't mind the debate taking on a life of its own, but let each other breathe. I don't want to be the hall monitor. Please don't turn me into that. Anyway, let's look at the issue of crime. FBI numbers, violent crime nationally for each of your states. Keep in mind, this statistic shows what is the combined rate of homicide, rape, robbery, aggravated assault, the year 2022. On the national level, the rate was 380.7 offenses per 100,000 people. In California, meanwhile, the rate was much higher, 499.5 offenses per 100,000. In Florida, lower, 258.9 offenses per 100,000. Governor Newsom, let me start with you. Your numbers are way higher than the national average. How do you explain that when safety and security, I would argue, is a prerequisite for the pursuit of happiness?
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. We're near 50-year lows, down 55% violent crimes in the state of California from the 1990s. And I want to compare and contrast that with the issue in Florida that you didn't mention, and that's the murder rate. And let's broaden it more broadly. The issue is 7 out of the top. Those numbers were part of the murder rate. 7 of the top 10 murder rates in the United States of America are red states. He has a 66% higher gun death rate than the state of California. He has a higher murder rate. Go to places like Jacksonville. Go to places like Orlando. Go to places like Tampa. The murder rate's off the charts compared to cities like San Francisco.
It's the whole state he took. The whole state. But all right.
You know what? Even more egregiously, Sean, and I think this is important. The American people deserve an answer from you, Ron. You had one of the worst mass shootings in American history, Parkland. 17 kids were gunned down, lives lost. 17 others, lives torn asunder. You had a young girl by the name of Jamie Gutenberg, whose father pleaded with you to do something about it. And you know what you did? You did the exact opposite. You made it easier for felons to get guns without background checks, without any training. These people pleaded with you, the parents and the families, to get tough on gun safety. And again, you made it easier for felons. He said of you, Ron, and I agree with him, after you signed that concealed carry bill, which increases the likelihood, Fred Gutenberg said, of more Jamies losing their lives and more Parklands, he called you weak, pathetic, and small. So
he said something. I want to go back. I had to go check something. Hold on 1 second.
I think this is important. The American people deserve an answer from you, Ron. You had one of the worst mass shootings in American history, Parkland. 17 kids were gunned down, lives lost. 17 others, lives torn asunder. You had a young girl by the name of Jamie Gutenberg, whose father pleaded with you to do something about it. And you know what you did? You did the exact opposite. You made it easier for felons to get guns without background checks, without any training. These people pleaded with you, the parents and the families, to get tough on gun safety. And again, you made it easier for felons.
He's right. Parkland was one of the worst. But Newsom, your state has the worst mass deletion since 9/11, which we can constitute as one of the worst in history with San Bernardino.
He said of you, Ron, and I agree with him, after you signed that concealed carry bill, which increases the likelihood, Fred Guttenberg said, of more Jamies losing their lives and more Parklands, he called you weak, pathetic, and small. So with respect, I appreciate you're talking to police officers in the state of California. You may want to spend a little bit more time, not on the Ohio Trail and other places across this country. You may spend a little more time back in your home state and address the murder and gun violence in your own backyard.
So this is.
Are you going to address the tree that fell in almost on the governor's mansion?
This is the slick politician. You put up the rates. He has 500 per 100,000. Florida.
That's not 500.
So that's almost twice as much. And he's trying to spin that to say California's doing good.
How is
People are
that
leaving
twice as
California
much?
in droves.
It's not 500.
Largely because public safety has collapsed. They have,
Idiot.
I mean, you go, when Californians come to Florida, one of the things they'll say, it's almost like an out-of-body experience. They can go to the store, get toothpaste off the shelf, pay for it, and leave, because in a lot of these places in California, everything's under lock and key because they basically legalized retail theft. They have chosen in California to put the interests of the criminals over public safety. They treat they're easier on sex offenders. They're easier on all these crimes that are leading to a collapse in the quality of life. And if you just walk around San Francisco, you will see, and I think it's interesting, America's collapse. We cannot let that happen.
Wait, I got to, Governor, no, I got a follow-up question. You brought up
Jacksonville, Florida, Governor, San Francisco is 126% higher.
Governor, let me bring up
it's 84%
the next question dovetails into
Tampa,
this.
it's 75% higher.
Let me also say,
what are you talking about when it comes to this?
I know you like to jabber.
By the way, those are all easily
I know you like to lie.
Anytime you're uncomfortable,
he put the statistics up there.
Those are all
your crime is higher. We know your crime's higher.
Gentlemen,
we know.
Well, OJ asked why San Francisco, because it's the easiest example that conservatives can go to for why California is in the state that it's in, because of the homelessness and the fact that they cleaned up when the Chinese president showed up and then went right back to what it was. San Francisco has become the conservative avatar for failed California policies, just like Chicago has become the conservatives' avatar for when talking about black people and crime.
Gentlemen, I'm going to move on.
Gun murder rate in your state.
We'll let the audience. We'll let the audience look at the numbers, the FBI numbers, and decide. According to
hey,
the
cameraman.
advocacy group,
Cameraman is
every town,
drunk.
For gun safety. Okay, California has the most, as you support, I know, Governor, restrictive gun laws in the United States. Florida has the 19th most restrictive. Yet, if you look at the year 2019, when each of you took office, California has had 21 mass shootings. Florida has had 9. Now, that is according to a USA Today, AP, Northeastern University database data. Keep in mind, a mass killing is defined as the intentional killing of 4 or more victims.
Damn.
Excluding the deaths of unborn children and the offenders by any means within a 24 period of time.
How does he lie? Oh, God. Okay, we're going to do this again. Okay. Because I don't understand. Whose definition are you using? Whose definition are you using? Obama literally lowered the threshold to 3. His FBI lowered the threshold to 3. Why do y'all still say 4? It's literally right here. It's literally right here. Where is it? They say 4 here, right? But it's funny here. They say NBC defines it. Yet the FBI, that's the standard 3. But okay, fine. Got to give the conservatives enough of an out because they know the conservatives be out there shooting mode. I ain't even gonna go there. I ain't gonna go there.
I believe Governor DeSantis, you get this first.
What California wants to do is they want to make it harder for law-abiding citizens to defend themselves. Then they go easy on the criminals who are perpetrating the crime. They don't stand up for the men and women of law enforcement. That's why a lot of people have left the state, because they don't get the support from the communities that they need. And, Gavin told another lie. He said we made it easier for felons to do. Felons are not allowed to possess firearms. That's federal law. That's been long standing.
Background checks.
That is an absolute lie that he's saying like that. That has nothing to do with buying or purchasing a weapon. So that's just a lie, another lie that's coming up. But here's the thing. People are leaving California in droves because he has failed to stand up for public safety. They are on an ideological joyride to let people out of prison early, to go easy on them. Heck, your buddy, Gavin's buddy in Los Angeles, Gascon, he doesn't even prosecute. When I was in Southern California for the Reagan debate, a lot of the women tell me they have to take off all their jewelry just to be able to go shopping, because otherwise they're going to get mugged. That is the reality that people are facing in California. Gavin can try to put lipstick on that pig, but the fact of the matter is he has failed the people of California.
I love this guy talking about backing the blue when you dangled pardons for January 6 insurrectionists, 85 of them that were charged with attacking law enforcement. You talk a big game about backing the blue. With all due respect to the crime rate, again, he's not answering the fact that he has a higher murder rate than the state of California, a 66% higher gun death rate than the state of California. And I can easily answer this point. Gun safety saves lives. I don't think it, I know it. And the data bears that out in the state of California. California proudly does lead in terms of common sense gun safety. Common sense gun safety saves lives. You had the chance to do something meaningful. You had a chance to do something on behalf of those Parkland families. You did the exact opposite. You moved in the exact opposite direction. With all due respect, look at your own backyard, Ron.
So
You're not mining your backyard on this issue.
I will do that because we have we had 2 radical left Soros district attorneys, like your buddy Gascon in LA, one in Tampa, one in Orlando. They were endangering the public, and I removed them from their post. Gavin Newsom has not lifted a finger to rein in Gascon in LA. That city has collapsed. That county's collapsed because he is not enforcing the law. So that's just, and here's the thing. This is what's happening. That California model, that's what's done in Philadelphia, Baltimore.
15 seconds. We got to go break.
I mean, you're running for president of the United States. You're talking down the great state of California. You're talking down one of the great American cities, Los Angeles. That's insulting. And you're doing it because you're trying to obfuscate the facts that you have a higher murder rate in the state of Florida and the state of California. We got some of the lowest crime rates we've had in 50 years.
We'll have more with Governor DeSantis, Governor Gavin Newsom on the other side as we continue the great state debate, blue versus red. There's hardly any differences. A lot of ground to cover. Thank you for being with us. We are in beautiful Alpharetta, Georgia. Thank you for joining us on Hannity. All right, welcome back to Hannity, the great red state, blue state debate. We continue with Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, Governor Gavin Newsom of the state of California. Gentlemen, let's turn to the issue of parental rights. Now, in March of last year, Governor DeSantis, as you know, you signed the Parental Rights in Education bill. And let me read from it. It says, classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3 or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in according with state standards. Critics have called the bill, quote, homophobic. This is the one they branded the Don't Say Gay bill. I ask you, Governor DeSantis, in especially the lower grades, should schools, and maybe all grades, should schools be focusing on reading, writing, math, science, history, computers, and maybe leaving values, considering parents might have different values than teachers at school, to the parents, to religious institutions, or is it the role of the school? What is the role?
The role of the school is to educate kids, not indoctrinate kids. It's not to impose an agenda. It's to do the basics. And what we've said in Florida is it's inappropriate to tell a kindergartner that their gender is a choice. It's inappropriate to tell a second grader that they may have been born in the wrong body. Now, California has that. They want to have that injected into the elementary school. My wife and I have a 7, 5, and a 3-year-old. We don't think that that's appropriate. I know most parents do not think it's appropriate. It's also important to respect parental rights to know what curriculum is being used in the classroom, and everything should be age appropriate. I actually have something that I brought that some parents have objected to.
Oh, Lord, they brought out props. Here we go. CRU Realty, hello. B1, why Georgia insinuates purple swing state? Yeah, Georgia is a swing state. Didn't swing for Stacey Abrams, though, because she lost. But It may factor in 2024, and when I start my my congressional series, then you'll understand why. Everybody in Georgia is up. Everybody.
So this is a book that's in some of the schools in California, Florida.
Pause.
I told y'all bitches I had dick at the bottom and titty at the top, bitch, from day one when the door fucking open.
Pause.
There go DeSantis being hella pause worthy. What are you doing, sir?
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
He whipped this out. Okay. Go ahead.
This is not consistent with our standards, called gender queer. Some of it's blacked out. You would not probably be able to put this on air. This is pornography. It's cartoons. It's aimed at children, and it's wrong. So this should not be in schools. When people like on the left say that somehow you're banning books by removing this from a young kid's classroom, no, this is not age appropriate. And so we're going to stand for the rights of parents. I think we need to do that nationwide. I don't think you can have a situation where some states just trample on the rights of parents. Parents have a fundamental right to direct the education and upbringing of their kids.
I mean, by the way, you've been on a banning bench. 1,406 books have been banned just last year under Ron DeSantis' leadership. I love that he keeps pulling this out. I've seen this. He's been doing this all over campaign trail. What's wrong with Toni Morrison's books?
It's not banned.
What's wrong? It's not true. What's wrong with Amanda Gorman's?
It's not banned.
And the poetry.
1,406.
1,406 books have been banned on your banning binge in the state of Florida. As it relates to parental rights, come on, California, it's in our Constitution, parental engagement. It's called the LCFF process. We actually require parental engagement on curriculum development. And we don't, complete lie, we don't require K through third grade sexual education. That doesn't happen until middle school. What you're doing is using education as a sword for your cultural purge. And you know what, with all due respect, you know, I remember in the 1970s.
Hold up, wait a minute. You brought up Amanda Gorman. Wait a minute. She's still around. She's still this relevant. Amanda Gorman. All right. I did not know this. They try to resurrect everybody from the past, I guess. All right. Go ahead. He said they banned Toni Morrison books. I don't know if he did. Let's see. Did he ban Toni Morrison books? He did. No, it says DeSantis claimed Nobel Prize winning author Toni Morrison was not banned in Florida, but books by Morrison appear 4 times on Florida's own list. Oops. So they said this happened way back in July. Florida schools remove books by John Milton and Toni Morrison and restrict Shakespeare under DeSantis rules. You restricted Shakespeare? Huh. Where's these Shakespeare books? Let's see. Which books? Titles by Shakespeare have been restricted to only 10 through 12th graders. Okay. She was gobsmacked when she saw Shakespeare in Midsummer's Night Dream was among the restricted works. All right. Go ahead. Do your thing. So we got 2 liars on stage.
We had a bill called the Briggs Initiative. And there was a guy by the name of Ronald Reagan, so offended by the Briggs Initiative, which was the original Don't Say Gay bill. In that case, it was not allowing teachers that happened to be gay to teach. And Reagan had the courage to stand up. And he said, you can't catch gay like you can measles. I don't like the way you demean people. I don't like the way you demean the LGBTQ community. I don't like the way you demean and humiliate people you disagree with, Ron. I really find this fundamentally offensive. And this is a core value that distinguishes the values of my state and, frankly, the vast majority of Americans against the weaponization of education.
Right. And but I have a follow-up question for you, though. And by the way, first, Governor, yes or no? Are the book banning issues, is that not a state issue? Is that a state issue or a local issue?
Local, and he's
okay. That's what I want to know.
The home book wasn't there.
Here's the question I have. Here's the question I have for you, Governor Newsom. Some of the books you're talking about, one is called, the governor just wrote it up, it's called Gender Queer, a memoir.
explicit pornographic book showing sex acts. Another, Flamer, graphic book about young boys performing sex acts at summer camp. This book is gay, a book containing instructions on the ins and outs of gay sexuality. Let me finish. Let's Talk About It, a book that contains graphic descriptions about how to masturbate for males and females. My question to you, Governor Newsom, those books, do you believe that's appropriate for school districts to teach kids? Yes or no?
Come on, those aren't. That's not part of the curriculum. They're not teaching.
Those
kids
are those are books that were in school.
Hold on. The bottom line is you are on a book banning binge. Your state, 1,406 books, 3,362 in this country.
You didn't answer.
Florida's
What about those books?
That's not. We don't provide for K through third grade education that kind of curriculum. It's just made up. These guys make it up. It's part of this cultural purge.
Should it
it's
be
just?
This is like listening to Trump talk. I'm about done.
It's a round. It's a rap for you round. And a rap for your round. I'll let a round rap around every rap around till it's rap around. This rap around. I'll rap around a round rap. I'll let a round rap around. How you gonna get around that?
I don't know what the hell he was talking about. I'm zoning out. This ain't interesting. Jesus. What was he talking about? I ain't get no sound bites. This was boring, bro. I don't know, man. I'm about done. I don't. Denise, I was looking up other things. I was trying to see what the general consensus online was about this, and most people saying that Newsom gave him that work. I don't think I need to be doing nothing else. Wednesday is going to be interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, I can't stream it live, but the last debate for the Republicans is on Wednesday. I would do it Thursday morning, but I got something to do. I know y'all might, maybe Friday. We'll see. Maybe. But I don't know. I don't know. DeSantis don't got a shot in hell unless he pays somebody off. Anyway, before I get out of here, how did y'all feel about this? On a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. How do you rate this this debate? I give it a 2. Only because it captivated the internet, the small fringe, for a couple of hours, and there's hella articles about it. All right. Damn, y'all don't even go to numbers. Then he said, who cares? She said, who cares? Wallow J said dry. Then he said pointless. Only difference is Newsom used facts. Negative 100. I wouldn't vote for either one. I feel y'all on that. Well then, I guess we ain't got nothing else to say. We up out of here. We see the finish line, and I'm going to go relax. So hopefully y'all learned something today. If you did, I done my job. If not, I will try to be better next time. Tomorrow will be a new upload. Yeah, I think y'all will like it. I hope. So if you wait till after this live is over, it'll take you to the page, I guess, the video. I'm sorry, the video. And make sure you like it and put on the notification so you know when it starts, you'll be in the building. And next live, who knows? We'll see. We shall see. But make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you share it out. Make sure you like the channel. We're almost to 3,000. Almost there. We see the finish line. We're almost there. So, yeah. Take care. Stay safe. And you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your day.